I gotta say, there's something cool too when the ticker's rolling on NFL Network or CBS or any of those networks, and our score comes up, and we've already won. Did you pop? You like see that? And you're like, yeah, baby, we got that done.
Yes. No, definitely. I see the scores and it's like, yep. Let's glorify that even more. But yeah, no, definitely. There's definitely some pride with that.
Good blocking on the perimeter, and that opens it up for Tyler Scott.
It is officially, as I'm counting in, it's officially Vikings week, and we couldn't be more excited about it. The Vikings, you know what? They're coming off a couple of bad losses. This is the time for the Bears to get right, get a little bit of a winning streak going. And here to break it down and all that stuff, it's Bears rookie wide receiver Tyler Scott, the man of the hour. Tyler, how are you doing? I know that we talked last week briefly. It's great coming with you with a win under our belt, a rival in our front vision. How are you doing?
Doing great. Doing great. I mean, it always feels good, after a win. Felt good in the building. Going back in there when we went Monday.
Mm-hmm.
It felt good. You didn't feel like any other week. Spirits were high. Guys, positive. Possibly get some guys back this week. So yeah, I mean, spirits are high, and we feel good.
Well, let's talk about that for a moment because I know that you have this same. Ooh, this is the first time I said you. I didn't. When I'm talking about it, it's us being 1-4. It's you, but a winning streak is us. But in any event, we have the same record as the Minnesota Vikings. The Packers dropped the game on Monday Night Football, which was amazing. I loved every moment of that. But the thing is like when you look at these teams, obviously Detroit's playing very well. But when you look at like where it just correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels good. I feel like we're in a good spot. I feel like even though we lost that game against Denver, still played really well offensively, a tremendous game against the Commanders. I feel like we're in a good spot right now. And I feel like there are real reasons for optimism. Am I right on this?
No, I think you're right on with it. Looking at our division and just some of the teams coming up on our schedule. You got some teams that are kind of up and down, and maybe have a good win there, but maybe have a couple tough losses. Record may not be as great either. So I definitely feel like there's definitely just some openings, I guess you could say, where things kind of feel a little open for us. Kind of moving forward, especially with our schedule. So it'll be an interesting matchup this week. Divisional rival. And so, yeah, I think this could be, like I say, huge for us as far as just taking another step in the right direction. Like you said, 1 game winning streak, looking to make it 2 and just continue from there.
And we respect every team on the schedule, and everybody's a really good team. The one thing that I really appreciate, though, is that the offense just seems to be clicking. How different does it feel from where you were in week 1 as opposed to now? Because now it feels like when you need to make a big play, you guys are going to go out and make it. How has the confidence shifted over the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I think it just starts for with the main guy, which is one, Justin, and you see him and just the way he's playing and the confidence that he's playing with, and just how decisive he's been, and just kind of his play, just being the leader of a team, everyone kind of looks to you, and you're if he's playing great, then a lot of the times the whole team is playing great, and so I think that's kind of what you're seeing, over the past couple of weeks. Especially on the offensive side of the ball, is just just everyone having confidence in him. Offensive line doing a great job as well, giving him time. You look at some of those scoring touchdowns and some of those big plays we had, especially last week. Just such a clean pocket. You just look at the offensive line did such a great job, and especially with a defensive line like they have. Just kudos to the offensive line for just giving him time and just the receivers and the playmakers being able to make some plays down the field. So I think everyone's just confident. Just the play calling and just everyone being in the right positions and all on one accord. So I think it's, like I said, a collective effort. It's a collective effort for sure. But ultimately, you got one back there, and when he's in control and in command, and he's cooking on all cylinders like he is, then it's good for everybody.
I got to say, one of your fellow rookies, Darnell Wright, has been playing really well. He was the subject of one of the Brian Baldingers, the Baldy's breakdowns. He is out there pancaking dudes. Now, when you guys are watching film and everything like that, does it just pop off? Like it's got to be exciting to see what he's been able to do so far this season.
No, for sure, for sure. Especially when you have a guy that high and when he's starting to pan out, the way that you want him to. And, obviously you're gonna have rookie mistakes and stuff like that. And that's just part of the the learning curve. But I mean, overall he's doing a great job, and he's definitely somebody who stands out on camera. For sure, which is what you want, someone who pops out. And we talk about I talked about the silent film before, and weeks before, and that's something that is huge, and that's something that you see with him is the silent film, and you see those big blocks, you see him running out on screens, being able to cover ground and make those blocks. So I think that's huge, for our offensive line.
I know at some point in your life you had to make a decision whether to play defensive back or wide receiver. Watching Darnell Wright just abuse people, do you now feel like, yeah, I made the right call?
Yeah, I mean, I know it was one play we were watching. I think it's one that everyone's kind of been showing.
It's the one. Yeah, it's the same one we're talking about.
Yeah, where Justin took it up. He was a QB run, and I think it was Emmanuel Forbes. He came into the hole, and it was his run fit. He had to fit. That was his hole. That was his gap. And you see Donald Wright coming at him, and he put his body in there. He did what he had to do, but we all knew that wasn't going to end great. So looking at those type of things, it's like, man, I think I chose the right side of the ball for sure.
It is one of the things that has been a hallmark of the short tenure of GM Ryan Poles is he likes those athletic offensive linemen that can get out there and make plays on the move. Darnell Wright certainly able to do it. We saw it last year with Braxton Jones as well. And it's like these athletic tackles just getting out there in a space where a guard would normally be, and our tackles are able to do that. So that just shows, like this team, again, like if you just give it a little bit of time to breathe, and it's unfortunate, as disappointed as a lot of us were in the first couple of weeks. You want to beat Green Bay and you want to do all that stuff, but gosh, like again, watching that game last night on Monday night, looking at where we are over the last 2 weeks compared to where Green Bay seems to be going. And I don't want you to put you in a spot where you're knocking Green Bay, but it's like, I feel very confident where we're at. And I feel like now it's time to really start putting things together. I will say that we have had some injuries at the running back position. How is that? How are we doing? How's everybody feeling? Is it just a next man up type of situation? Will this mean more opportunities for you? Will we see Velus Jones taking some snaps? How are we going to combat all these injuries?
Yeah, I know, as far as running back, I think we just signed a guy. Can't remember his name, but I want to say
Darrington Evans.
Yeah. So I guess was he here last year?
He was here. Yeah, he's familiar with the program.
Okay, yeah, makes sense because it seemed like guys are pretty excited.
Yeah.
Seeing him in the building, just seeing guys' reactions, KV and seeing Khalil, just seeing walk to the locker room, and a lot of the guys that were here last year, you could see they were really excited about him. So that's always a good sign when you got somebody coming in that guys love and trust. And he was he was out there.
That's way better than them being like, oh no, not this guy.
Right. So. That's a good sign. Like I said, I'm not familiar with him, but looking to get more familiar with him as we continue forward. So that's good. But yeah, I think especially in the league, one thing I've noticed so far is that it's definitely that type of mentality of just kind of next man up.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're just putting the trust in the front office and the staff to bring in the right guys, to continue on the train that we're on, all aboard basically, and just hopping on. So I think that's been the mentality. That's been the mentality, just across the whole board, not just offensively but defensively. You got Greg Stroman, who's he stepped up off the P squad. When Kyle went down,
right.
Kyler Gordon went down, he stepped up and he's played big time. Take advantage of his opportunity. So I think that's just kind of been the mindset of every player that's kind of walked in this building for sure, of just next man mentality, and we're just holding up and trusting the guys that are in there.
And it's one of the hallmarks or one of the trademarks that you want to see from a GM is the building the organizational depth for guys, because injuries are an unfortunate part of the game, and that happens, and it sucks. And it really is unfortunate to see players go down. Speaking of which, our opponent this weekend, the Minnesota Vikings, I know you were watching the game over the weekend. Justin Jefferson, pulls himself out of the game. He limps off the field, which is like, okay. And you fear the worst. And unfortunately, he was put on IR as a player, as just like, not necessarily as a future opponent, but as a compassionate human being. What is it like when you watch somebody like Justin Jefferson have to take himself out of the game, and then you hear the news that he's not going to be available this weekend? How do you players, how do you look at those kind of situations?
Yeah, I think it's unfortunate because you understand how hard guys work and how much they put into this game and how much they sacrifice, and how much money you spend on your body, and how much time and you just take into preparing yourself for these moments. It's just so unfortunate, and that's an NFL. It's 100% injury, rate, and it got him. And I think Yig said he got on IR, and I think he said it was out maybe 4 weeks or so.
Yeah.
They're looking at. I was, personally, I was a huge fan of Justin Jefferson when he was coming out of college. And I think I was in high school at the time, just watching him, and, I was somebody I was excited to see, live, just up close and personal, just kind of see him do what he does. So I think that's just such an unfortunate thing. And I think he was kind of maybe like a payday year, as well,
Yeah.
looking for that, looking for, a nice little payday. And, he was definitely going to just reset the bar and standard for, what a receiver was going to get paid. So I think that's unfortunate, but hopefully, he can make a comeback, this year. But I think that's just an unfortunate deal, especially from player to player.
And I think, and a lot of people, the fans might look at it one way, but I think for players, it's always one of those things that you want to compete against the best, and you want to beat the best, and you want to beat those kind of players. Like we love, like I have no problem saying that I love Justin Jefferson and I love watching him play football, but I love when the Bears beat a team that Justin Jefferson is playing for. So I can have it both ways. And it's one of those things that it's unfortunate, but we'll see what happens. Now you're going up against the Vikings this week, who have a veteran defensive coordinator, Brian Flores, who is installing a new system. They got a lot of talent on that defense still. They got a great defensive coordinator. How have you been looking at the film? How do we attack the Vikings, and what have we seen so far from the Minnesota team that, again, probably better than their 1-4 record? What do we got going on? How are we going to attack this squad? You don't have to give up. Don't give it up. Don't give up too much. You don't have to telegraph the plays, but what do you guys?
So, I mean, I think, you kind of said it. I think they're better than what their record says. It says they're 1-4, but I think when you watch them on film and just, see what they have, I feel like they're just a better team than, kind of what their record says. Like you said, they had a strong competitive game versus, the Chiefs. But yeah, I mean, when you look at their team, obviously Justin Jefferson goes down. That's unfortunate for them. But that's a huge piece. That's a huge piece for them. He's kind of the center of their offense. They lost Dalvin Cook, so the running game looks like they're taking a hit in the running game. I don't think they have a rushing touchdown this year yet. I've seen somewhere. So they're kind of really been relying on Kirk Cousins' arm. So we'll see. They just got Jordan Addison this year. So we'll see what he does. It's kind of his time to step up. Offensively, but then defensively, it looks like they send quite a bit of pressure. And they have a pretty unique defense. A lot of shifting and moving. Going on. A lot of things where you really got to pay attention post snap, because they're going to show you things pre snap, and as things happen as the ball snaps post snap, you're going to have to really use your eyes and really hone in on your keys, because they like to do a lot of shifting and motioning, where guys are maybe at the line and they may be looking like they're about to blitz, but then there's a guy from there, he's going to play post safety. Just those type of things that can definitely mess with a quarterback's eyes, and a receiver's just kind of route adjustments and things of that nature. So, and I think also just an aggressive team, especially in the run game, just with their safeties, very aggressive. I think probably one of the most aggressive, group of DBs we'll face all year as far as just kind of in run fits and things of that nature, for sure. So, like I said, I think it'll be a good matchup, and, it's a divisional rival game. So, that's always means more than, teams are always going to bring their A game for divisional games. So, should be a fun one.
Yeah, I don't want you to sleep on this one. I know that we put a lot of effort into the Green Bay Packers, and rightfully so. But we also don't like this Minnesota team. Delightful people, wonderful human beings. We still want to beat them, and that's just the way that goes. Great people, great stadium. I know they're coming to Soldier Field, but still want to beat them, which is great. When you look at the defense, are they like a lot of zone? Are they a lot of man? What are the most of their looks?
It seems like they like to have more eyes in the backfield. Maybe heavy quarters team, type deal where, those safeties can be more aggressive. Not a huge press team. Not, looking across the board. I think one of their DBs, he went out last. I want to say he got hurt last game, 21. I think last name's Evans. I think he went out. But yeah, I mean, just looking across the board, not a huge press team. They kind of like to keep things in front of them, so to speak, and then kind of let their safeties kind of be more aggressive, in that run game. So it looks like they'll kind of have, more kind of eyes in the backfield, let things kind of develop in front of them, and those type of things kind of really just mess with you as far as your eyes, and just kind of get you confused and throw your timing off.
What do you think about DJ Moore now? Obviously, he's coming off a huge game. The Vikings are obviously watching film, and they're probably identifying him as a player to stop. For the rest of you wide receivers, you and Darnell and Equinemius St. Brown, do you feel like, we're going to start getting more opportunities because defenses are going to shift to DJ Moore, or what are those conversations like? Are you just worrying about yourself?
Yeah, I think there's always that possibility. Especially when he has 2 great weeks that he's had. I think the biggest thing is just always being prepared. Always being prepared, whether they shift to him or not. Your time will come, and when the ball comes your way, you just got to be ready to make a play. And so I think just the biggest thing is just being prepared because with especially in the league, they're not going to just allow you to keep just doing those type of things. They're gonna do something to try to combat what you've been doing and kind of what's been working. And so that could open up a lot of other opportunities for guys outside of DJ, and just being prepared is the biggest thing.
Yeah, we're gonna have a big crew down at Rip Beer Company in Southern California in Huntington Beach. A lot of the Vikings fans will filter in, so it's gonna be a big game. We're still the crowd is ready. It's like kind of like I would equate it to watching the Royal Rumble, where you're waiting for your favorite wrestler to come out, because we're waiting for that Tyler Scott touchdown. And Rip Beer Company, every time the Bears are on offense, we're ready. We have confetti ready to fall. We have confetti ready to fall from the sky. Like, it is going to be a big deal. So I know that you've got a lot of fans. They let everybody know when you score, there's going to be a loud roar from Huntington Beach, California, that'll be coming after you. And also want to let everybody know that if you're in the Chicagoland area, the best place to watch Bears football is Game Room Chicago, located in the historic Chicago Athletic Hotel right across from Millennium Park. It is the best place. They got one of the best chefs out there dialing you in. They've got all sorts of recreational games like billiards and beer pong or shuffleboard, all the good bar games. They have all the TVs with all the games, which are amazing. But here's a cool thing. If you mention the Sick Podcast at Game Room this weekend, you will get 20% off beer towers and large format cocktails. The offer is valid Saturday, October 14th, and Sunday, October 15th. What did you do? I am curious to ask, though, with everything that happened over the weekend or on Thursday, you're feeling good. We talked on Friday. What was it like over the weekend? Like walking around, like, we've won our game. Like, what is your Sunday like? It's for me, it's a little bit lonely because it's like, I really don't like, I got up and watched the Premier League and stuff like that, but it's still it's still a little lonely when the Bears aren't playing. What was it like for you? Did you get up and just watch games? I know you had the Vikings on tap. So did you watch their game?
Yeah. No, I sat down because at the end of it, I'm a fan too, so I was watching games all day. I was all day college football. All day, I was, taking my, self back all day. Usually, Saturdays, I'm in a hotel, and, preparing and things of that nature. So, not usually able to catch like full college games, just catching bits and pieces, maybe ends, maybe the beginnings, and maybe some late night games. But, I sat down. I was a true fan, watched college game day, like I was back in high school, and, watched all the games. And then Sunday came, I was like, oh, I get to finally sit here and, have a whole bunch of split screens going on the TV, watching all the games play. I was just as excited to watch everyone else play. And it felt even better when you're sitting down watching all these teams, and it's like, well, we won this week, so that's something we got to worry about. So, but no, yeah, definitely watched all the games, watched all Sunday night game and Monday night. last night as well. So yeah, a lot of football.
I gotta say, there's something cool too when the ticker's rolling on NFL Network or CBS or any of those networks, and our score comes up, and we've already won. Did you pop? You like see that, and you're like, yeah, baby, we got that done.
Yes. No, definitely. I see the scores, and it's like, yep, that's us. Let's glorify that even more. But yeah, no, definitely. There's definitely some pride with that.
It was even better because in the moment when I don't know about you, but like when we're living through it as fans, that game felt incredibly close. And maybe it was close, but like looking back and you see like 40-20, like we smoked them, like we killed, like I remember sweating out every second of that. But now that I see the score, I'm like, oh yeah, we destroyed them. Is it looking back in hindsight? Because you guys you really did a lot of things well. And I know we talked about this on the show on Friday, Saturday. But you guys did a lot of things well, and it just feels like.
Definitely.
And the one thing that I know that you mentioned, but for those that didn't get an opportunity to join us last week, I don't think it's an imagination of mine, but Justin just feels like he trusts where he's putting the football, and I think that the third touchdown to DJ Moore, like he throws this ball on a rope to a place, and the haters who watch it, like that was close, like yeah, it was close. He made a great throw, and it was a great catch made. Yeah, right. Like that's the kind of throws you have to make in the NFL. It feels like he's more like he's throwing that ball with conviction. I think you even mentioned that on Friday.
Yep. No, definitely. Yeah, it's the NFL. You guys aren't going to just be running scot-free, around. So yeah, you got to make those throws, and that's what the great quarterbacks do. They are able to make those throws and throw people open. Understand the leverage of a DB and understand like, a DB may be positioned a certain way, relative to the receiver. But if I put the ball in this spot, he's not gonna be able to make that play. So yeah, he may be on him, but he's not in a position where he'd be able to make a play on the ball if I put it in a certain spot. And that's what he did on that play.
It was amazing. And it's one of the things and again, I mentioned this to you on Friday, but it is one of the things that we've wanted to see. Like we want those signature moments, when you need a losing skid to stop, you got to have those signature moments. I thought Justin delivered. And now I always have confidence in Justin. Like anytime he gets the ball with a chance anytime he gets the ball, I'm like, we're going to score. Like I just assume we're scoring. It's a shock to me if we don't. And I think over the last 2 weeks, it's really been proven to be the case.
It feels like that. It feels like that. We haven't punted a lot. Honestly, we haven't punted too much.
Yeah, I don't want to see number 16 out there anymore. Like I hope his parents came to a couple of the early games. We don't want to see him. And I'll let everybody know too. This was something that I put on the NFL Fantasy Live show this week or on Tuesday, that since 2022 in fantasy points scored, Justin Fields has averaged 11 points in September, over 24 points in every month after that. So this is definitely the trend. This is definitely, and if this is something that we have to live with moving forward, where it's like, oh, it's September, but then we're money for the rest of the season, I will take that. And I think too, like the defense looks pretty confident as well. Yeah. I think that defense is really starting to come together. How do you guys feel on offense? Because I know you weren't here last year, but like I feel like now, like I don't want to talk but like I feel, but I'll just say that I feel really good when our defense goes out there. I feel confident that we're going to make stops. How do you guys feel when the defense gets out there? Because I feel like they're starting to really turn a corner and play well.
Yeah, no, they've been huge. Especially for us, like, we came in, we've been starting the games off great. Our biggest thing, knowing we had guys down was to, especially defensively was, we're gonna have to put up a lot of points, in these games, to be able to, compete. And, they've shown like, we're holding our own, on this side of the ball. And, we come out in the second half and maybe not putting up as many points or maybe going a little low, but the defense is helping, keeping us in it and just holding it down for us, even though we may not be putting as many points, as we were firing in the first half, So, but no, definitely, I think, especially with, a group that has had different, guys in and out of the lineup. We've had two, starting, rookie cornerbacks, last two games, Tyreek and Smitty, over there. But they've been holding their own, doing their thing. Like I said, we got Greg Stroh, who's stepped up from P Squad. So I mean, you look at it; those aren't guys that you had Tyreek, but you got Hicks in the back, and playing safety. But those are guys that coming into the season, you weren't necessarily expecting to see. And those are guys that are holding it down for us, doing a great job. And so that definitely just gives the offense confidence, especially when they're able to get turnovers. and be able to flip the flip, especially in the plus 50 area. You give Justin Fields the ball, the plus 50 area, that's pretty much good.
Listen, I know that you're very busy. I don't want to keep you too long, but I do want to take this opportunity to wish you a happy birthday. Your birthday is on Thursday. You turn 22. We're excited for you. Number one, I'm almost scared for you because you guys practice on Thursday. I don't know what the veterans have planned. I don't know. You need to find some person. And I think Tyson would be the most trustworthy. You got to tell Tyson, like, hey, if I get taped to the goalpost, you're getting me out, right? Like, you have that person already designated.
Listen, I don't. I mean, no, I don't know, because now knowing what they did back in the summer with the whole Ricky Dinner thing, I got to keep my eye for DJ.
That's
I got to keep my eye
right.
for DJ. I got to keep my eye for DJ and EQ, because they're the ones that have something up their sleeve that'll be, sneaky. So, now that you said that,
Do you mind?
I'm be on high alert.
Do you remind? Can you? I got to talk about that too, because like for those of you who didn't know, the receivers, it was the receivers, right, who played a prank on you during training camp. You hear about this a lot, that these guys go out, they take a rookie out, and then they run up a bill for about $90,000 and they leave it with you. What do the Bears do to you? What happened with you? If you could remind, for those of you that haven't heard this story, it's amazing. Can you just kind of tell everybody what happened? Do you mind telling that story again, recreating it?
Yeah, no. So yeah, I mean, I know kind of leading up to, early in, training camp, OTAs, just, the guys were talking about, Ricky Dinner, yada, yada, yada. I'm just kind of impressing off like, yeah, all right, they're going to forget, or, it ain't that serious, whatever. So, it went to a time, nobody said anything. So I'm thinking, I went through Ricky minicamp, I went through OTAs, and, went through the kind of the first half of training camp, and, nobody really mentioned that about it. So I'm like, I'm in the clear. And literally right before,
that's the worst feeling.
Right before we take off to Indianapolis, DJ was like, "Hey, what are we doing about this rookie dinner?"
Oh.
And when he said something, I was like, "Oh gosh, this is actually gonna happen." And so then everyone's like, "Hey, just let us know, yada yada." And they wouldn't even ask me. They weren't even asking for my input on anything. They were just like, "Yeah, we're gonna do this. We're gonna go here, yada yada yada." I'm like, "Okay." And so so then we get to Indianapolis, and Coach Flus, he mentions like, "Yeah, I know guys want to go out to dinner, yada yada. So get with such and such, who makes sure the restaurant's good." Just marking out the checklist. And I'm sitting here like, well, I haven't heard anything about any rookie dinner, so I don't know. So a couple of days go by, and then DJ mentions, he brings it up again, and we're like, yeah, we're going on Friday. And I'm like, oh gosh. And so I was like, all right, fine, it's fine. And then kind of about 2 days, before leading up to that Friday, we're doing some walkthroughs and stuff, and now I got the guys kind of me saying like, oh, we're gonna run it up, we're buying all the drinks, we're doing this, that, and the third, and so then they're asking like, well, how much is the limit, yada yada yada. Make sure you contact your financial advisor, all these different things. No. And then Justin was like, yeah, I'm coming. Justin was like, yeah, I'm coming too. So, make sure that I'm like, what? I was like, no, you can't come. I was like, it's only to my room. And he's like, oh, he said, you better let me come or you're going to be running routes on there the whole year. So I was like, okay. So, so then we, he's talking about, yeah, I got to get a to-go plate. I got to get one for the, for the hotel. And I got to get one for, after the game and all these different things. So they're hyping it up. And so eventually Friday comes, and I remember I ended up taking a nap, and I was going to try to sleep through it. Didn't work. And so I get a call from one of the receivers, and they're like, hey, T. Scott, where you at? And I'm like, just come get my card. And so at that point, I got a text from Reese, no longer with us, but I got a text from Reese, and he was like, hey, man, just come. He said, just trust me, man, it'll be fun. And so I'm just like, all right. So I get up, head down. They got this huge truck waiting for us in the front. So I get in, and everyone's dressed up. I just got like a hoodie on. So I'm like, all right, well, let's go. And so obviously I'm not one to go. And so we drive about 40 minutes out, to downtown Indianapolis. I think we go to a restaurant called Tony's. I want to say it was called Tony's restaurant. Okay. So we get there and, got us a nice little room, decked out for us. So just a little private room. So we're in there eating, chopping it up and, things start coming out, taking orders, get a few drinks, got some appetizers. And, as that's going on, I'm counting in my head, like, all right, that's, a few drinks here and there, there's some appetizers. All right. It doesn't look too bad. Nobody's going crazy, so I'm like, all right, cool. So, going on and then, they come out, check our orders for dinner, and I'm, everyone's taking an order. I'm thinking, okay, cool, watching everybody. Okay, it's a steak here, some fish here. I didn't get too much. I'm like, so I'm like, we should be good. I'm like, doesn't look bad. And so, having a good time. Music's going, yada yada yada. So then times for the bill to come out, and so at that point, I'm like, okay, like I should be able to handle this. This isn't that much. And so, before they hand it to me, like, wait, like pass it around first. And so then, the bill starts getting passed around and I start seeing everybody's reaction. I'm like, why is everyone reacting so like crazy? I'm like, I'm looking at the table now. It shouldn't be that bad.
Right.
And so, it's going around and everyone's like, oh, that's not that bad. Or, oh, wow. So they're making all these different comments. And so, eventually the bill got to Chase Claypool, and he got the bill and he looked at it and he was like, oh, that's not that bad. That's not that bad. And when he said it, I was like, oh, this is bad.
Oh, no.
This is bad. Just knowing who he was and our relationship, I'm like, oh, this is bad. So, it goes to one more person. It eventually gets to me. And I remember taking it. I looked down and it said $20K. And I'm sitting here like, how? I was like, there's no way. And I'm looking and said, yeah, we had we had got the drinks that were like $15K. That's what really took it. We got like some fancy drink. Cause I did say, get us your best red wine. I want to say, I was like, bring out your best red wine, but I didn't think it would cost like, $5K a bottle. And so it was like, yeah, you got 3 of those bottles, which came out to $15K or something like that. I'm like, this makes no sense at all. And so I was sitting here, I was like, so who ordered all these drinks? At that point, I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to pay for this. So I attempted to get my card out like I was about to pay for it, not knowing what I was about to do. And so as I'm doing this, they were like, all right, bro, we're good. We dining and dashing. We're just leaving. I'm like, no, we're not going to do this. I'm like, I might be in the negatives as far as my limit, but I'm like, I'll get it back. I'm like, we're good. And so they're like, nah, man, we out. We down in the dash and we good. I was like, nah. And then so the waiter comes over and he's, he looks like he's like in on it. He's laughing. And so it's like, hey man, you're good. You can go. I'm sitting here like, I was like, but nobody paid for it though. I'm like, what do you mean? We're like, we just got a free meal. I was like, I didn't see anybody pay for it. And he's like, no, you're good. You can go. I'm like, are you sure? He's like, yeah. And so I was like, okay. And so we all step out and we're leaving, getting into the truck. And so I get into the truck and, everyone's like, no, for real. Did you pay for it though? I was like, no, I didn't. They're like, you didn't pay for it? Like, you didn't pay for the meal? I was like, you got to go pay for the meal. They're like, you can't just leave. I'm like, but you guys told me that I was good. And he told me, they're like, dude, you got to go pay for the meal. And so I'm on my way to get up. They're like, nah, you're good.
Oh my gosh.
And so I was like, okay. And so then I forget who told me, but eventually they told me like, yeah, this is DJ's idea. He set it up. He ended up paying for a meal. I guess he had connections. I guess he had connections or knew the owner of the spot. Or there was some connection there, I guess. And, he ended up paying for the meal himself. But I don't think it was $20K though, but he ended up paying for it though.
So they gave you a dummy bill, made you think you owed 20 grand. Then they told you to dine and dash. They put you through the ringer, but I think that says a lot about DJ Moore that he was out there. He's picking it up. Like he's the one who makes the most money. Like it's okay. Like I appreciate that. I always hated that story because I always feel like I know that everybody pretends like football players, especially rookies, like are just swimming in cash. You're like, no. Like they get taxes taken out as well. And there's all these things like, you're not rich. Like, unless you're the first round draft, like you're not that rich. Like this is a big bill. So I'm glad it makes me feel good about the team that I root for, that there's a bunch of good people on there who listen. I love that they had a laugh with you, but no harm done. You're not going to be in the negatives, as you said, and you didn't have to do.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
I am worried about your birthday, though. I would even say this, that I think Friday is when they're going to try to get you. I fear Friday more than I feel than your actual birthday.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm gonna stay out the way. Honestly, I'm gonna try to stay out the way.
Please, I won't let anybody know. I certainly won't tweet about it on your birthday. But no, hey, let me just real quick. If for your birthday, if you're allowed to have one person perform at your birthday, make them alive. I don't want to do that live or dead. A live person. Who would you want to have at your birthday party performing?
Perform like a song?
That's whatever. Like, hey, somebody's going to come in and perform. Okay, they could be a stand-up comic, but for the most part, I think most people would think of like a musical act is going to come in and put on a private show for you. Who would it be?
It's going to be, for me, I'd probably have to go with J. Cole.
All right. Very nice.
I'm a J. Cole guy. Yeah, I'm going to have to go with J. Cole. That's my guy.
All right. Well, let's see if we can get Jeff to get that taken care of. So, Jeff, now you know what you need to do for his birthday.
J. Cole, Jeff.
J. Cole, get him on. But listen, I want to let you know before we got, and again, I'm sorry I kept you on. Listen, Jeff, I'm so sorry. He tells a good story. I'm not going to cut him off. So don't give me the note like you kept him on too long. Tyler's talking. It's his fault more than mine.
Yes, it's on me. It's on me. It's on me.
But I do once again want to congratulate you on the great win on Thursday. But I also want to let you know that I'm back in now. I'm back into the like, hey, so we beat this team, then we're 500, then I'm back in.
Yeah.
Not that I was ever gone, but now I'm really sold. So I really need you guys to go out there and bring this one home on Sunday. I have the utmost confidence in you. I think you're going to get it done. I think we're just starting to get things rolling, but I'm back in. I was never out, but we're back. We're fired up. Chicago is ready to love again, and we're excited for this game. Go get it done. Thank you so much for being here. Happy early birthday, and bear down, Tyler.
Appreciate it.
All right, that's it. That's all I got. There he is, the great Tyler Scott. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks to everybody for being a part of the show today. We will be back Wednesday night. Take it to the rank. I think Greg Braggs is going to be with us, so make sure you check that out. Until that time, Sammy, go ahead and play us out.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast with Adam Rank on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.